Straight ahead on CCX News, a rare allergic reaction that has changed the life of a Maple Grove 10-year-old and what it says about the cleaning products in your home. Plus, a way to keep Old Glory flying high at night in Brooklyn Park. But first, a push at the state capitol to save a Golden Valley school from closing. CCX News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. The future of a Golden Valley school is in jeopardy.
House Republicans want to close the state-funded Perpich Center for Arts Education after an audit revealed low test scores, declining enrollment, and mismanagement. However, as Eric Nelson found out, there's also a strong push to save the school.
To abolish Perpich would be to abolish the dreams of hundreds and hundreds of young Minnesota artists.
Perpich Center supporters rallied today in St. Paul, banging the drum for a school they think is a huge asset.
I feel confident in the direction that the new leaders are taking Perpich, and certainly think we owe them the chance to make changes.
With threats of a complete shutdown looming,
now is not the time to shut down the Perpich Center for Arts Education.
And a legislative audit that was not kind to Perpich. The school has brought on 9 new board members in an effort to streamline their business.
In spite of political challenges, the Perpich community continues to thrive. This year, we've seen 97 students win scholastic honors.
Proponents passionately made a case for Perpich. They don't want to see 187 students displaced.
And I firmly believe that this is an institution which has great value to all of our students and to our communities across the state.
When you walk in the door, you're immediately surrounded by artwork on all of the walls.
Cynthia Roehl graduated from Perpich in 1992 after transferring from Osseo High School.
My experience for me was profound, and it made a huge difference for me.
For Roehl, Perpich was a game changer that eventually led to a career as a litigation lawyer.
Perpich really changed who I am.
Roehl says Perpich is a lifeline for some kids who don't fit in at other schools.
There were kids who I'm sure would have committed suicide if they had not found that community.
The new board says they have addressed every single item in the audit. And if things bounce their way politically here at the Capitol, they will have a retreat in July to try to improve the viability of Perpich in the future. In St. Paul, I'm Eric Nelson, CCX News.
The Perpich Center was started in 1985 and has a current budget of $11 million a year.
2 local lawmakers were involved in a debate to head off the measles outbreak that has sickened 34 Minnesota children. Most are unvaccinated children in the Somali community, where there is concern the vaccine can lead to autism. Health officials say they're getting bad information. Representative Mike Freiberg of Golden Valley says the state health department needs more funding with vaccination efforts.
They've stated they need more resources. I think they are doing yeoman's work. They are doing a wonderful job reaching out to this community in a culturally sensitive way. But they are doing it within limited resources that are part of the result of the decisions we are making here.
Representative Peggy Flanagan of St. Louis Park says there is an urgent need for action, but others argued the bill wouldn't take effect in time to help the current situation. The House voted against the funding.
In the Robbinsdale School District, new chapters are being written for 2 schools. The former Pilgrim Lane Elementary School is undergoing more than $16 million in renovations as it transitions to become Fair School Pilgrim Lane. The new school will start out with about 200 kindergarten and first grade students and eventually expand through 3rd grade. It's also a new beginning for Sandburg Middle School, which is reopening after closing in 2009. Getting the schools ready is a step-by-step process with teachers and staff changing buildings.
Nobody's new to this. Everybody is already in the district and will be moved or rearranged, so to speak, from one school, one program into another. So it's, I like to compare it to the little game you used to play with the little square with the one piece missing that you had to slide the pieces around.
One thing to highlight is the new furniture, which is supposed to provide more flexibility for the students. The goal is to have everything ready to go by August.
An American symbol will be visible at night along the 610 freeway thanks to the efforts of a local VFW and MnDOT workers. MnDOT crews installed solar-powered lights on 5 overpasses where U.S. flags are now flying. According to state law, it's illegal to fly them without proper lighting. Several years ago, MnDOT settled a disagreement with the Palmer Lake VFW over the flags and agreed to put them up. But lighting was a problem because connecting to a power grid was too expensive.
We came up with an idea to try to get the solar panel to rotate so we can get a better angle on it, on the sun. So we came up with a sketch, and the bridge group actually came up with a fantastic design of a turntable design so we could turn the solar panels, get the correct angle, and collect the sun.
The former VFW commander says he originally put up the flags to welcome home soldiers from Iraq. Now he says they are still a good reminder that people are still fighting for this country.
In Robbinsdale, you will notice many orange cones as a major road project gets underway. The first phase of the Noble Avenue reconstruction project started on Monday. Work is being done along Noble from 40th Avenue down to 36th Avenue. Work is also being done along 40.5 Avenue to West Broadway. Crews are installing new water and storm and sewer pipes. Roads are also being resurfaced, and drivers will eventually share the road with bicyclists after a new bike lane is added to some streets.
There will be a bike trail constructed on the western side here. It'll be a 10-foot wide bike trail, and we figured that would provide some alternate and safe transport options for folk that would ultimately be coming to the light rail station.
Watch out for detours, which will change depending on where work is being done. The project is expected to last until November.
A much prized opportunity to build new homes in New Hope is outpacing the city's predictions. Nearly 2 years ago, this is what the site at 55th Avenue North and Winnetka looked like as construction started on the new Parkview development. Today, more than 50 homes are either completed or under construction in the 60-home subdivision. The project should wrap up this fall, a year earlier than predicted, with only 7 detached townhomes left to sell. Located on the site of a former school, the land offered New Hope a chance to upgrade its housing stock.
To create a new neighborhood, you know, is something that's quite rare. So it's obviously speaking to a lot of different buyers from that perspective that, you know, want to have that new house and be in a subdivision, but be that much closer to the kind of city center in downtown Minneapolis.
The prices in the subdivision range from $260,000 to $438,000.
Maple Grove has given preliminary approval to a housing product not currently sold in the city. A developer is proposing 133 detached row townhomes to be built on a 13-acre site in the gravel mining area. That's near the new Central Park and the Arbor Lakes and Main Street retail areas. The homes would be 20 feet wide with 8 feet between them, and the price range from the upper 280s to $350,000. Still ahead, a Maple Grove student's rare allergic condition and what it says about commonly used household soaps.
Plus, basketball standout McKinley Wright of Champlin Park changes his college choice. See where he's headed.
But first, it is a weather warm-up. Temperatures return to average. We'll be right back.
Think about the items you came in contact with today. The shampoo to wash your hair, the soap to wash your hands, and the items that were disinfected with cleaning products.
And now imagine that you're allergic to all of those things. In today's Health Check, Delane Cleveland introduces us to a Maple Grove family that's dealing with that very problem and how they hope to make a change.
Hattie Sandiger is a soft-spoken, art-loving 10-year-old student at Gleason Lake Elementary in Plymouth. By all accounts, she's a typical girl, but unlike the rest of her classmates, you'll always see her wearing gloves at school.
But at times it's embarrassing to have gloves on because it's just different, and some kids think it's weird, or they just have, I can tell they have different thoughts.
Hattie suffers from an allergic reaction to chemicals that you'd find in most household cleaning products. Things like popular soaps, laundry detergents, lotions, air fresheners, and even glue.
She is allergic to the worst one being methyl isothiazolinone. shortened name is MI or MIT.
Hattie's mother, Jill, says MI is a preservative found in many popular products. If Hattie comes in contact with a chemical, her fingers could flare up.
My fingertips would get really puffy and red and cracked and really dry, and my fingernails would get dented sort of and pitted.
Getting this official diagnosis took 8 years worth of visits to various doctors. It took a toll on both Hattie and Jill.
Frustration, disappointment, feeling like a failure as a mom, not knowing what to do for her.
Now they have answers. And to help prevent the allergic reactions, Jill replaced all of the cleaning items in her home with products that don't contain MI. While at school, the district installed a touch-free faucet in Hattie's classroom.
So that I don't have to get all the soap residue on there on my hands, and so they won't flare up as much.
However, Hattie still gets flare-ups, which is why Jill is on a mission to find a long-term fix.
One is to get clear ingredient labeling on especially cleaning supplies, because we're putting this stuff on our tables and our dish soap.
There's no guarantee that the family will get their wish for better labeling, but at least Hattie knows she has people fighting on her behalf.
I'm glad I have good friends and family who care about it.
In Maple Grove, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
Jill's other big goal is for lawmakers to regulate the use of the chemical that's responsible for her daughter's allergic reactions. Still ahead, dinner in a flash and for a deal in Brooklyn Park.
But first, we hear from Mr. Basketball winner McKinley Wright of Champlin Park about his new college choice. John Jacobson is in next.
John Jacobson with sports. Champlin Park basketball standout McKinley Wright originally committed to play college basketball for Dayton, but after coach Archie Miller left Dayton to take the head coaching job at Indiana, Wright reopened his recruiting. Jay Wilcox has more on Wright's new college choice.
After basically restarting the recruiting process just as Champlin Park's season ended, McKinley Wright settled in on the University of Colorado.
Obviously, Colorado's a great school up in the Pac-12 conference. I went down on my visit and I just fell in love with the campus and the atmosphere. Everything about it was amazing. So I thought about it, the pros and cons, talked with my family, my mentor, Coach Al, and we thought it was the best place for me.
There's no doubt the whole scenario of losing his future coach and having to decide where to go was tough for McKinley. There was talk of him following Coach Miller to Indiana for a time.
The situation there was they got James Blackman and Thomas Bryant and OG Awanobi, I don't know how to say his name, but they all entered the draft. And Thomas and James Blackman, they didn't sign an agent. So if one of those guys were to stay in the draft, then they would have a scholarship. But if they were to come back, they didn't have any 2017 scholarships. So I didn't want to wait that long and see how everything played out there in the end.
Where he'd play is obviously a personal decision for Wright and his family, but he found out just how many people are interested in what Minnesota's Mr. Basketball would do next.
Yeah, it's crazy. The amount of people that contact me, ask me what I'm doing next, what's next for me in college basketball, if I was going to go prep in 2018, and it was a lot of stuff. It was crazy, but I'm glad it's off my shoulders now. Everybody knows what I'm doing.
It's not the way McKinley Wright expected everything would happen, but now that he's decided on Colorado, he's using the whole episode as a growing experience.
I talked to a couple of teachers around the school, my parents, everybody. They said when one door closes, another one opens. So, I mean, that was I had a good opportunity there, but this one, it's a great too, so I'm excited for it.
Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
Wright says he'll head to Boulder, Colorado shortly after Champlin Park's graduation to begin summer classes and workouts with the Buffaloes. On the heels of their win Saturday at the Preview Invitational Tournament, the Wayzata boys golf team is ranked first in the state in this week's MGA rankings. Wayzata is #1, while defending state Class 3A champion Minnetonka is ranked second. The Skippers are followed by last year's 2A champion Blake. St. Michael, Albertville, and Chaska round out the top 5. Maple Grove is ranked 9th this week. Providence Academy's Paul Stanke, Blake's Reese Sanders, and Ben Frassini of Wayzata are all ranked among the top 10 individuals. Breck and Wayzata are both ranked in the top 12 in the MGA's rankings of Minnesota girls high school teams. Maple Grove High School hockey and softball player Erin Roehl lost her father to brain cancer last fall. Dane Roehl coached many of Erin and her older brother Jaden's teammates in youth sports. And Dane's death impacted so many people in that community. Their story is featured on this week's Sports Jam show on CCX. Here's part of what you'll see.
I thought he would get over it. I honestly thought like he was super strong, seemed like he was super healthy. So there were some days like I'd go where like I totally forgot that like he even had cancer, honestly. Like he just like was always like good mood.
His family and friends say Dane battled hard, determined to beat the disease. But cancer didn't give up either.
August rolled around and we got bad news that he only had 2 months to live, and so it was really tough because like watching him there like in my own eyes and like having to help him, and like it just really like hurt and like was so hard because I like knew that like I could tell how he felt, and I just like could tell he was slowing down and he was like still trying to be there, but like he couldn't do anything about it.
It touched everybody. I mean, that day when Dane passed, I mean, I got emails or texts consistently from players and discussing how they were feeling and things along those lines, and it was a big deal, and all of them, everybody was there, including the girls hockey team at the funeral.
You can see the rest of that story and more this week on Sports Jam. It's on through Wednesday at 3:30, 6:30, and 9:30 p.m. on CCX Channels 12 and 799 and online at ccxmedia.org. That's it for sports. Mike and Alex, back to you.
All right, John, thank you. Up next, it's the deal of the day in Brooklyn Park.
We'll be right back.
And finally, you could call it one heck of a deal.
Jimmy John's calls it a thank you to customers. At the shop location off Brooklyn Park Boulevard, customers lined up Tuesday afternoon for $1 subs. An 8-inch sub typically costs about $6.17. Long lines are expected tonight, but the sub shop, of course, prides itself on its speed. The Brooklyn Park store general manager came in at 3 a.m. to get everything prepped for the possibility of 3 times the normal sales volume.
Today we're looking at maybe anywhere from 1,000 to 1,200 sandwiches. I guess we'll just see where it goes. This first year we've done it from 4 to 8. You know, usually it's 11 to 3, so it's a little different today.
And you do have to go to the store to get the deal at Jimmy John's location. So quick dinner tonight.
Hard to get anything for $1 these days.
That's right. That is
there
true.
You go. Yeah.
That's all the news for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
And we'll see you back here on Wednesday beginning at 4.